Chip here with the XRP Minute. I just want to start the show off by saying a huge thank you to Digital Nomad Investor. By the way, I caught his surprise stream this morning. I was actually getting ready. I usually like to listen to a video when I'm, getting ready in the morning to head off to the office. And is he live? I couldn't figure out if he was live or not. And I was like, no, he's not live. It's probably a stream from last night. And bam, he was live, and I still had to do a double take. Like, is he live? I think he's live. So it turned out he was live, and it was cool because I missed about an hour and a half of the stream, and he went into it and he started explaining what he missed. He summarized it, which is pretty awesome. I also want to give another shout out tonight to the Hodl report, and I know Digital Nomad Investor basically went ahead and gave the times and the lineups, but he streams on Wednesday nights at 10 p.m. And Jeff was kind enough in the Hodl report to help me get my settings adjusted. So I'm not sure how they're working. I know we had a little technical difficulty the other night. I tried to go live with my first interview with Sam I Am, which is an awesome get. I was so excited Sam was going to come on. And then I had the most unfortunate thing happen of a really bad tech issue, and it was tick, 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 and it just, I guess we had some audio, but we had some definite technical difficulties. And this stuff happens. Everything's great before, then you go live, and then something happens. And that's kind of how technology works. You're getting ready to get on a conference call, everything's fine, or you're going to do something and then all of a sudden the technology goes crazy. You try to send someone an email, they didn't get it. Sometimes the tech's good and it's awesome, but it's always good when it actually comes into fruition and works. So I want to talk about a couple things today. I want to go deep dive on the IMF. No, I'm just kidding. Digital Nomad Investor did an awesome stream on that already, and a lot of people did some good stuff on that. So I'm not going to get into that, even though I'm pretty psyched about the underpinnings and what's happening. I hear a lot of stuff about this one world currency, right? Is there going to be one world currency? What's going to happen? Would it be awesome if we had a one world currency? My thoughts on that, we kind of saw how that worked out for the European Union, right? That worked out incredibly well. We have basically Brexit sort of kind of happening. And what was happening there was you had the big power players, namely Germany, and then you also had the UK. They were the ones footing the bill. So if something went wrong, they were digging deep in their pockets and doing the big bailout, right? And I like the idea of unification. I'm all for it, but I do think there was some minor issues. So I'm kind of like, this whole world currency thing has me a little bit freaked out. Now, listen, we can use XRP across the board. We can definitely take XRP, and it can become a standard. But I think we're always going to have fiat to some extent, and there's always going to be cash. Last week I went to a local place by the beach, and I hadn't been there in a while. My memory was that it was good, but how many establishments do you walk into, at least in the U.S. anyway? Do you walk into and I'm getting ready to pay, and I took my daughter there, and we're having fun, and they're like, "Oh no, it's cash only." And I was like, "What?" Yeah, cash only. We don't take cards. I can appreciate it. Luckily, there's a bank right across the street, but they don't even take anything that I could send them on my phone, right? Because I have access to everything on my phone. I could just light it up and have something there. But they didn't quite have that. So what I'd like to do now is I'd like to talk about some of the people in the room. And thank you. So we got Pepe. Pepe, thank you for coming tonight, man. Or I should say in the morning because it's your time. Pepe from Australia. We have Aussies being represented. We have Ali G in the house. Matt Richter, who's always been a big supporter in there. We got Rain. I don't know if you caught Rain stream last night, but it was awesome. Auburn Rain. I just call him Rain, man. And I keep trying to tell him, change your name to Rain. It's just badass. Who else we have in here? We have Digital Nomad Investor, which I love the stream. And thank you for sending some people over. Dan, the XRP man, is in the house. Like I had mentioned before, Jeff from the Hodl Report, he does a stream at 10 p.m. On Wednesday nights. I do Tuesdays and Thursdays. And let's see, Biz Comedy Channel, he's in here. We have Will I Am. What else do we have in here? What else? Rupert Ritsky. Am I saying that right? Ritsky? Maybe. I hope so. I hope I'm not butchering that too much. Jay Cobra's in the house. Veteran owned. Good to see you. Mac Daddy, what is up? Miyagi, I was looking forward to a live stream. I know the zoo's doing a live stream with Miyagi. And man, I'm looking forward to this because they keep teasing it. They keep saying Miyagi's going to be on, and then another week goes by and there's no Miyagi. So I'm thinking it's going to happen next week. You can comment in there, Miyagi, if I'm missing something, but I pretty much think that's coming up because I've been waiting for this for some time. And then Mama Lacey's in the house. What a privilege. Thank you very much for coming on over. Who did I miss? I'm sure I skipped over somebody. Who else is in here? We've got Ben Peterson is in the house. There's somebody else, 179 Kevin. Spanish Flies in here. Zoo Crew representing. Let me see what else. What are we doing here? Yeah, okay, so good. Let me get back onto it. So Bones for you messing up the dates. You know what? It's always fun to blame stuff on Bones, right? Because if something goes wrong, he always gets the blame for it. But when is it, Miyagi? Because I want to go ahead and tweet this out. And if you guys, this is funny. Batsamo, thank you for being here. Tweeted, please like and, or actually put in the comment, please like and subscribe. And that was hidden from view. Google's like, no, man, do not subscribe to this guy. We do not want you to. So I'm going to go click and show. Boom. There we go. We're going to show that to everybody. It's okay. It's okay. Patrick Young. I love those Benjamin Franklins. Right. That's exactly the thing. And you might notice we're on a little bit of a delay. That's on me. I think we're delaying at 20 seconds. So if I don't get to your comment, you'll understand why. Danny Torres is in the house. Thank you, Danny. Good to see you. Who else? Let me see. Yeah, so if you guys want to tweet this out, man, show some love. You want to tweet it out. If you haven't clicked that like and subscribe, I'm not going to bug you all throughout this stream, but go ahead and click on that bad boy. Or screen, if you haven't subbed yet, I know we had some new folks in here today, like Gaming Cryptos here. Thank you. Good to see you. Dustin Jackson is in the house. Followed Cookie Crumbs, Lead Me Here. Seems like a cool place to be. Listen, Dustin, if you're here, this is the right place to be, my man. This is the right place. Oh, the Punk is in the house. And I also mentioned Patrick Young. So a couple things I want to talk about. I'm excited about all this IMF stuff, but I feel like it's been kind of covered. And I wanted to jump in. Generally, Thursdays, I do a tech thing where I focus on, I was trying to do a chip chat on Tuesdays where I will bring a guest in or somebody from the community. And then on Thursdays, I was trying to do this like a tech Thursday, right? I'm a big tech guy. I work in the industry, and I thought I wanted to feature some other things that I thought were kind of interesting, and hopefully that you would dig them as well. Moneybags is here, just showing up. Moneybag Jungle, I had the greatest time. If you caught the live stream with Jungle, whiskey stream, I should say, on Saturday night, man, it was a blast. And I didn't realize it. It felt like we talked about 35 or 40 minutes. Turned out it was like close to 2 hours. What? 2 hours, right. So I enjoyed that tremendously. And what we're going to do now is I want to just jump over to some things, some things that are kind of interesting that I kind of stumbled upon in my world here. So this Coinbase, obviously, Coinbase launched the Coinbase card in the UK. It's a cool looking card, everything. I got semi-excited about it. Like, this is fantastic. Yay. I'm super happy about it. And then I'm like, wait a minute. I'm in the US. This is like a UK only thing. Oh, that's right. We have regulation issues. As you know, Coinbase took a very good route early on. They actually went and they went through all the regulation things. And people, I think they took a lot of criticism because they didn't roll out coins fast enough. I mean, they went from 0 to 100 literally in about 2 weeks. If you remember, for the longest time, they had 3 coins, then it turned to 5, then they put 0x on there, 0Z. And I was like, I don't know, I've never heard of this coin. Then the next thing you know, it was XRP. And after that, it was like opening the floodgates. Everything. And is it a coincidence? I think not. I think XRP hits and boom, it explodes. So then I went to, now they have a lot of coins you can actually buy on there. And some you cannot still. But again, this is a cool thing. I was pretty excited about it. But we'll see how this evolves. And the idea is that you're partnered with Visa, and you'll be able to just use that anywhere. But here's the thing I'm thinking. I want to throw this out to you. Suppose right now you could log in to Coinbase, okay? Hear me out. You log in there, whatever your feelings are about them, love them, hate them, whatever, but you go like, you know what, I'm going to give this card a try. It's called the ship card. There you go. Punk says Coinbase has a card for us. Well, let's just say, just hear me out. Let's play along. Let's role play on this thing. Suppose you go out there and you get the card and it comes in the mail overnight tomorrow, right? So you got it. And so are you really going to go out there and start swiping and spending your, your digital assets? I mean, I'm putting it out there to you, but I'm like, yeah, we want this when we moon because I can see moon time. Yeah, you want to have several ways to be able to take that money and disperse it. But what happens when, now when we're doing some hodling? What are we doing right now? That's what I'm saying. What are we doing? Are we spending our currency? No, and I'm getting some feedback, like Rain saying when it moons, hey, Ben Cedeno. I hope I'm saying that right, Ben. You'll have to sound it out for me. I don't like butchering people's names, but thank you for stopping in. Here's what I'm thinking about this card. Look, we're all going to need multiple possibilities for exit, right? We need to make sure we go to the exchanges and be able to up how much we can cash out when the time is right. We don't want to get in some sort of backlog. This might be another tool we can use to leverage down the road because who knows when that time is going to come. Everybody will have their breakpoints. Let's take a look at this. So this is kind of cool. I like this right here. This VC firm, Ben Franklin Technology Partners, and I believe it was someone in the stream earlier that said they like the Benjamins. So it's cool that they're called. What I like about this, when I start seeing a lot of news about tokenization, that it benefits, and I've always said that for me, look, I mean, you can have all your opinions about a project, whether you think it's worthy or not. There's a couple hundred coin projects out there, and a lot of people like to use the SH blank IT. I don't like to say that because I like to say there's projects I believe in. I love Bitcoin because that's how I personally came to crypto. That's how I came in. And it's the leader, right? So we have a lot of love. We show a lot of love for Bitcoin because they've done a phenomenal job of keeping, showing what's possible, right? When they went to 20,000, I mean, yeah, some people sold at 800. Some people sold at 800. I'm not going to name any names here, but some people did. And because they had no clue, it had never been done before. No one saw 2,000. No one saw 5,000. And we hit 20,000. What does that say? That says to all of us here today that is exactly what's possible, right? I mean, do the math. You think about hitting 1,000. Forget about 1,000. How about 100 XRP, right? What are we looking at? By the way, I made a spreadsheet and I had to calculate it $1, $3, $5, $10, $20, $30, $40, all the way up to $1,250, what I'm holding and what it's worth. And it's kind of fun just to stream up and down that, scroll up and down, because you can kind of see where's your break point, what percentage am I going to sell here. It's fun to kind of sit back and dream a little bit. I saw a holder report, Jeff says, on the big screen. I hope he means the big screen in his house. That's what I'm thinking. Or maybe I'm on one of his big screens there. So Matt Richter has a different use case. I'm not going to go into it, but he's got a use case for, he said his friends. One of his friends is taking it for, okay, well, that's, that's creative. You know what I mean? That's creative. I'm not saying Dan, who sold at 800. You will not see me even mention the word. I'm not saying it. Nope, I'm not going to go there. Spanish Fly says, yeah, it should be done soon. We'll see. You're right, because when it moons, oh, okay, 55-inch TV, nice. Mama Lacey, hodl the card. Got the, and then Ben says, Ben Sedano says, mention that sheet on the jungle stream. You created a sheet as well. What we ought to do is maybe, not a bad idea, Ben, to share some of those sheets out, right? It might not be a bad idea. I'd like to see what you created. Maybe you can tweet that out. Hopefully I'm following you and tweet it out. It'd be kind of fun just to see how we're utilizing it, how we're looking at it. Just want a sip of water here. So let's take a look at this VC firm. Ben Franklin Technology tokenizes Philadelphia Investment Fund. Let me just scroll down to this. So the Go Philly Fund intends to utilize rapidly emerging standard technologies to streamline and manage investor interest in the fund. Was this written by an attorney? I mean, could they put more buzzwords? Can they put like maybe 6 more buzzwords in there? Through the use of blockchain technology, we are now facilitating and streamlining individual. I feel like I should do this in a robot voice. My God, it's like the good news here is that when you start seeing more stuff being tokenized like gold, and you start seeing stuff for example, this Philadelphia investment fund, what does it mean for the community? Well, I think as a whole, we want to see more and more of this. And we're flooded with news all the time. And this is starting to bleed through. And this is reaching, Aunt Sally. She doesn't know anything about cryptocurrencies. It's funny. I was having a conversation with my parents the other day, and I was like telling my father about it. He's like, how come you didn't get me into this? How come I don't know? And I'm like, we've had the conversations before, but he probably did not remember. Notorious is in the house. You know what? I just got 6 medals from Notorious. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's cool. So my dad's basically going on about how I didn't tell him about it. So he's all started to perk his interest, went into it. And if you guys remember the Coinbase promotion where they had XLM, this is a great story because usually if you tweet something out, I've seen 50 XRP giveaways. I've seen 150 retweets on those, right? 100 XRP giveaway. So here's $10 in XLM, right? And I could not find a taker. And everyone, another person, which I won't mention, but they said, no, man, no, I'll pass. And here's what I'm thinking. I'm like, well, you can't convert it to something else. There's other pairings, right? If there's $10 laying on the street, and I'm just doing my walk in the morning, and I see $10, if it's if it's a $10 note that's like from another country, I don't care where it's from. I'm picking it up because I'm going to figure out how to convert that somehow, some way. So let's see, devil's advocate here. This is something good from gaming crypto. Devil's advocate here, 20 XRP worthless. If used to open a wallet, it's not like they can just sell the wallet because who would use it? Knowing I had or have the seed phrase. Right, and I think the point of it is we'll laugh someday when you said, well, 20 XRP giveaway. Oh, geez, I can't bother to do that. But then what happens when XRP hits $300-400, right? Then where are we going to be? Notorious, thank you, my man. Thank you. Mac Daddy couldn't find any takers either. So Mac Daddy's in the same place as I am. And this is what I'm thinking. I mean, Mac Daddy, were you thinking the same exact thing? Like, come on, man. I mean, just take it. Just take it and convert it or, put it in a fractional Bitcoin. I don't care, do something with it. And I'm like, worst case scenario is you hold it. I mean, it's going to go up, right? So that's what I was thinking. I was like, well, I got my $10 and it went up a tiny bit, but, and then I just did an experiment where I started try to share it on every platform I'm part of. Let me go on Facebook. Facebook is great. I shared a what do you call one of these investment newsletters. It's free, but it gives you like the lowdown on really cool stuff. It's great because it summarizes everything. It's a 4 to 5 minute read. If there's something, you get one cool thing a day that you're really interested in. I shared that. I got like 10 people signed up. Boom, boom, boom. I shared $10 in XLM, and there's no takers. So Mac Daddy's in the same boat. I don't know who else is out there. Danny Torres says it's free. Why not take it? Listen, I think we're on the same page here. You know what I mean? Ali G, thank you. Hit the likes, guys. Thank you, Ali G. So great to see you in the stream today. So I just wanted to mention this. I get excited when I start seeing stories like this. So Ripple put something out a little bit earlier. It says a 4-minute read. I'm not going to bore you with ugly details, but what we're seeing as a whole is what's happening in remittance demand in Southeast Asia. So there's a couple different things. I think I'll hit it on the next one. But what's happening is Ripple's expanding, doubling their office space. If you go to this, I'm sure if you guys subscribe to the Ripple newsletter, some good stuff. If you want to watch some good interviews here, this is so. I mean, it's Ripple basically talking about the cross-border pain. We know about this. This is one of the reasons, and it's this use case specifically that we are in XRP. But it's a really good article. This came in. I just wanted to show it to you. If you hadn't had a chance to see it, go check out Ripple's Twitter and read it. It's a pretty good read there. Here's something interesting. I found this interesting, and I don't really know the motive, what's behind this because I looked at this. So Goldman Sachs CEO denies the firm ever intended to build out a crypto desk. Do you guys remember when the news broke that Goldman Sachs was working on this crypto desk and they were putting all kinds of resources into it and they were just going to blow up and it was going to be something amazing? So I thought it was kind of odd that I don't know why they're denying it. What's the motivation behind it? I mean, why not just let it ride? I mean, are they getting heat maybe from, maybe the SEC? Did they come down on them? I don't know what it is. Viewers delight XRP. You can like to call me Chip. That's what everybody knows me as. Thank you very much. Thank you for showing up today. BZ Comedy Central, the whole journey is so damn cool. I'm enjoying all of it, watching the progression, joining new channels, etc. Yeah, I agree with that. We're a cool community, and we're a community not only of really great people. I mean, I gotta tell you, I've been part of a lot of different things. Stock clubs, and maybe if you're into like classic car clubs. I've met some of the most amazing people from all over the world. I feel like I could travel to almost any country and meet up with somebody, right, that's in the XRP community. So I'm really loving that quite a bit. So when I saw this, I immediately went to, I'm not sure what why do you come out and deny this? Oh, no, no, weren't doing it. No, no, we didn't even have a thought about it. But forget about all the news articles out there. They were all wrong. They were just, speculating. So I did see this, and it was something that I was kind of curious about because I don't know why you go out and deny it. Moving on, let's go. So this is kind of a cool thing that I stumbled upon. Libertarian think tank criticizes United States SEC's approach to crypto and blockchain. Ooh, this is getting interesting, huh? Well, I like any think tank that puts a little bit of effort into it, and it's kind of nice coming from outside the space. We have a third party looking in. Yeah, anybody can criticize the SEC, right? We've been waiting for some time. Okay, so if you think about it, I like this. So John Berlau, senior fellow at Libertarian think tank, Competitive Enterprise Institute, criticized the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, better known as the SEC's approach to regulating cryptocurrencies, or should I say not regulating crypto. Berlau just delivered his comments in a report published on April 11th. In the report, Cryptocurrency and SEC's Limitless Power Grab, boom, throat punching right out of the gate. I like that. Why speculative consumer goods are not securities, Berlau claimed that blockchain technology, cryptocurrencies are transformative innovations, potential which has been stunned by burdensome regulation. And this is basically the meat of the conversation. There's been way too many companies that were founded in the US that bailed the US. I saw Bittrex. Some of you guys caught that. I mean, Bittrex happen to know Sean Schaefer. Big shout out to Sean Schaefer, who's in New York, and he's they shut it down. They were trying to get their New York license. I think they started in 2015. That's a long road. 4 years to get shut down. Pretty much a bummer, right? I mean, they're not worried about the U.S., but it's pretty sad that they had to go ahead and shut down in New York. So let me just go through a couple comments. We hit a couple things. So Miyagi says probably why most people didn't do it. They didn't have the attention span or feel like it's worth the time. But again, it's free money. Again, reverting back. Again, guys, I apologize. I'm on a little bit of a delay. Mac Daddy says videos are a little over 2 minutes each. If you want to watch 10 seconds, the questions links open up to an answer question. He only watched the first 10 seconds and answered all of them. Right. I mean, it was super easy, right? If we go back to that, I was like, I always get a little panicked when I go through those things because I'm like, I watched it, and yeah, the funny part about that was sometimes when you go through those, it was like it was a multiple choice, and it was like no, no, and no. Well, that must be it, right? It was one of these kind of things. So jumping back to the libertarian think tank, this is pretty amazing. I like this little quote right here. Deeming cryptocurrency as a security could put cryptocurrency out of reach of middle class investors. Heard that somewhere before. Because of the same red tape from both the SEC regulations and from financial regulation laws such as Sarbanes-Oxley Act of 2002, Dodd-Frank of 2010, that has hindered small investors' access to stock in early stage growth companies. So I'll be honest with you, this kind of came late that I saw it, but this looks like a really good, interesting read, right? I haven't read the report yet. I'm glad that they took some time to summarize it. Also, the report really came out and criticized the Howey test used by the SEC and the Supreme Court to define whether transactions qualify as investment contracts. Berlau stated that the test gave the agency the power to regulate many cryptocurrencies and securities, thus allowing it to take more drastic measures towards cryptocurrencies than any other investments. So I kind of like that. You see it bubbling up. You start seeing some critique and criticism coming from different parts, and I like that. So we got a groundswell. We have a lot of things being tokenized, a lot of cool stuff happening on the blockchain, and you can see these stories every single day. The problem is that there's just so many of them, And then there's those clickbait articles that say, is XRP dead? Did it die a miserable death? Did somebody skew it and put cement around its feet and dump it in the ocean? Well, no, they didn't do that. But sometimes you'll click over just to see where it's going. I've got something similar to that today, right? So again, another good article here. Ripple explores new corridors. And again, I just wanted to, when you see Ripple doubling their staff, going from 12 to 24 in a heartbeat, and then they're basically, so it's an incredible important market for the company given interest from regional banks using blockchain. Oh, so banks are interested in this. That's interesting. The demand here is significant, so it's an easy decision for us to continue to invest. Okay, so what do? There's a famous line by a bank robber. They once asked the bank robber, they said, like, why do you rob banks? And he had a simple answer. It's like, well, that's where the money is, right? So that's why you would rob a bank. Well, if you have demand coming from Southeast Asia, you put some focus on that. So again, and Crypto Eddie does a great job of breaking down what's happening in Japan and in Asia in general. She does an amazing deep dive on some of that stuff. So if you're not following, I'm sure everybody here is. I would go test it out. And Jeff from the Hodo report says, the Howey test is from 1946, a little bit outdated. Yeah, just a little, just a little. I would say so. 179. Kevin basically says that he trades all the time. He trades for all the time for XRP. Got 69 XRP. Now that is one smart person, right? 589 Society just coming in. Hello, 589 Society. Is that a jester hat I see? Is that BG123 you're wearing on 589 Society? Yeah, 589 hits 589. We're dancing like fools. We're wearing jester hats. We're doing snaps of us wearing all kinds of, XRP. We'll have a filter for that. It's just going to be crazy bedlam when that goes on. Let's move along, guys. So let's see this. So this is kind of an interesting, this is what I was talking about when I talked about clickbait, right? These clickbait articles are killer. And I saw it and I go, do I go over and check it out? Yeah, it's worth a read. Grayscale Fund, you guys all know Grayscale, reduces XRP and ETH positions in favor of Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, and Litecoin, right? So immediately I go to what's behind this, because I know Grayscale has been a huge supporter of XRP. And I started reading through the article thinking, I wonder what's going on here. Now it's in a series of tweets, right? Let's get through this. Let's stick with it. Let's see where this is going. What are they talking about? What kind of position was reduced here? So Grayscale. So DLC is passive, rules-based strategy that seeks to provide exposure to a large cap segment of the digital asset class. 70% target coverage. So that was the first tweet that they sent out. So the second one, there's no new crypto assets added. So basically, what do we learn so far? We know that Grayscale, huge supporter of XRP, is reducing, as in lowering their position with XRP. Well, geez, that has me stumped. Are they cutting it by 60, 70%? What's going on? Let's look at the second tweet. Although new assets qualified for inclusion following DLC's quarterly review, which ended on Q1, the table below highlights how DLC's weightings have changed from December 31st to March 31st, 2019. So basically a 3-month span. So over the course of basically Q1. I use a filter to get rid of all the ads because we don't need that little jester flashing in your face. It's on every single page. Win Bitcoin, that one I'm talking about. So I kill all that. So sometimes it hits the tweets, but you can go out to Grayscale, at Grayscale Invest. I recommend following these guys. So the funds rebalancing sparked by crypto market action. Is that what's going on? I don't know. They talk about Bitcoin surging from 3,800 up to 5,300. As for XRP and Ethereum, they've only lagged behind slightly. Oh boy, boo-hoo. They climbed from monthly lows of 130 to 180. With Grayscale's reduction of these two crypto assets. Now, let's break it down. Let's do some highlighting here. They said it was fairly stagnant at just 19% lows of 30 cents to a local high of 37, right? That's why we call it the greatest stable coin ever. And then Grayscale's reduction of these two latter crypto assets, namely being XRP and Ethereum. Where wait a minute. I have lost, did I lose where did I kill something on this thing? Maybe I did. Trying to find out where they actually showed you. What am I missing here? It's on here someplace. Okay, here it is. I thought it was further down. It's further down the article. Okay, this is really the meat right here. Look at this. Check this out. While they're rebalanced on their crypto holdings, the changes were not overly drastic. Oh, but you said they were reducing their positions as if they were almost ready to delete it, right? Is that what we got from the headline there? Almost seemed that way. But if you read down via the Twitter thread, they noted the DLC fund will be increasing its Bitcoin holdings from 66.8% to 68.3%. Now, I'm not a math genius, but when I go 66, 67, 68, that's 2 percentage points. They acted like they were blowing this up, right? And its exposure in Bitcoin Cash, which surprised me a little bit, from 2.8 to 2.9. Oh, are you kidding me? They're going crazy. They went up 1/10 of a percentage point. What? Oh, wow, this is crazy because they increased the position from 2.8 to 2.9. It's not even worthy of printing, and I think somebody made a mistake somewhere because you don't go, you know what? Looking at Bitcoin Cash, we got to go that extra 1/10 of a point. That's what's missing here. And then if you look at this, it's exposure from Litecoin from 1.8 to 3.3%. Woo! Now we're doing something. So let's look here. Ripple XRP saw the greatest reduction in exposure from 14.7 to 11.9. Okay, so what are we talking about? 3 percentage points. Ethereum was only reduced from 13.9 to 13.6. So some brain trust over there said, you know what? Here's what we do. If we can increase, because I mean they had to take it from somewhere since they obviously were not adding new coins at this time, right at the end of Q1. But I'm like, you know, these are the kind of articles. Sometimes you got to read inside the articles to find out. But you know, that got me to click on it. Mission accomplished. Let's head back over to the comments. Let's see who else. Anybody else new in here? Gaming crypto shouldn't jump. People with higher than normal price predictions saying it makes XRP look bad. We need speculation, in his opinion. Now, I couldn't agree more. Look, I mean, if anybody really knew, let's go back a couple. Let's go back to 2017 when we saw, Bitcoin hitting 1,500, and someone's like, "I've got a price prediction, $20,000." We would have been like, "Yeah, okay." It's never been done, but okay, yeah. And my feeling is it's going to be 100,000, 150, 200,000. I mean, a Bitcoin could be worth, if you're owning one Bitcoin, it could be worth $1 million. Now, is it a price prediction? No, I think it's inevitable at some point. It seems like the supply reduces itself. There's 21 million total. We know that 4 million is missing from the ecosystem, right? Early miners threw it out on a hard drive. They lost it. They don't know where it is. Maybe they gave it away. Maybe they didn't. They bought pizzas, for 10,000. I don't know what happened to it. Something happened to it. And so what's happening is even when they mine the rest of it, you're looking at an ecosystem that's just been reduced. And ultimately, I just think limited supply is just going to absolutely increase that. So if it ends up being a total of, I think it's a 14 million right now, 16, 17 million tops. I'm sure a lot of people are going to lose them. Custody of their maybe hacks. Who knows what's going to happen? So I kind of think that would happen. I don't know what you guys are thinking, but yeah, it's possible. I don't know about price predictions. So I kind of like price predictions. Auburn Rain, we want a stable coin above 334. Yes, we do. We do want it above 334. I don't know where that number came, but I like it. Gaming Crypto wonders how often companies can reallocate their investment packages. I think it's quarterly, but I'm not sure. At least I know they do a review on a quarterly basis. 589 Society is even better. He's in one up and it's saying, 1,000 good stable coin for him. I'm down with that as well. Ben put a tweet in. Ben, what did you share there? Oh, the Excel sheet. Guys, Ben shared his Excel sheet. Thank you very much. I'm going to go ahead and check that out. Thank you for sharing that. Guys, you want to check out his sheet, go take a look at it. This is fun, man. It's good to put your stuff in a sheet, kind of look at it if you haven't had the chance to do that yet. Thank you, Ben, for sharing that. Make sure you download the edit rights. Yes, good call. Let me go ahead and put that there. What else? Mac Daddy Ethereum had a good setup for a short. Already hit its first target. Good. You know, there's going to be some nice run-ups in the short term. I think definitely going to be some good run-ups in the short term. And, saw a tweet today, VET, that somebody thought it was a good idea. It might have been Phoenix that said that. I think it was Phoenix that said that. He said, holding 500,000 be a good one. And I do think, I mean, if it's 0.0065 right now, hey, what if it goes to 10 cents, right? What if it goes to 20? I mean, it's possible. It doesn't have to hit 589, right, to be able to get a nice run up. And I've seen some short-termers, XRP people, making some money and kind of buying the dips and then selling, transferring it to XRP, coming back in. So like I said, there's a lot of great projects out there that we can take a look at. Something I want to cover real quick. So I put this tweet out. I don't know if you've seen this video yet, guys, but this video here was put together by the crypto community. We had we put it together pretty quick because the request came in for, hey, is there a video that would help explain cryptocurrencies, maybe 2 minutes? It ended up being 5.5 minutes long, but something cool happened. So basically what I sent this tweet out, as you know, this is the hashtag for Pass the Token Taxonomy Act. Guys, this benefits all of us. I don't know, you want to construct your own tweets and put them out there? Let's do it, right? Because we basically need all of the, Congress could use our support. And Rep. Darren Soto, now Darren Soto is up, I think, in the 9th district. He's from my state of Florida. I'm down in South Florida, in Miami. And then Warren Davidson's out of Ohio. And these guys, they reintroduced it, which is really awesome. The FSC is the Financial Services Committee that's chaired by Maxine Waters. And just wanted to put her name in there too because, she chairs the committee. I wanted to make sure that, hey, we respect your leadership and we're behind you 100%. So get a chance to watch the video. It was Tony from Thinking Crypto. It was Rob Cash on the set. It was Jeff from the Holder Report. It was Jungle Inc. who was in there. And the funny thing is, we got a comment back. One of the comments that came back really noted how Jungle Inc. put a scenario in there about how great it was. What happens with the single mom that goes out there, gets a $500 check. She goes to put it in her bank and she has to wait 2 days, or she can go to a check cashing store and basically pay $25 on a $500. So these are the people that are really getting damaged, the unbanked, and XRP obviously is certainly the solution, the standard, but there's a lot of other projects out there as well, right? But the whole idea is it's a generic video, but Jungle really went and he really went into XRP, and I think he did a really good job of taking something big and really condensing it and putting it into an example that was very easy to understand. And so this video here, and also I want to mention Crypto Bird Dog too. She's a farmer in Central Florida. She sources basically customers from all around the world, and the biggest problem she deals with is how to get paid. So again, this would help her out tremendously. I thought her use case was phenomenal. And who else do we have in there? We also, I did a short little bit in there, but I just plugged a hole that I thought needed something. And then we also had Crypto Eddie in there as well, and she finished it off. So it's a good video. It's a bunch of people from the community. Just if you want to go click on the video, but I think I have it pinned on my top of there. But something cool happened today. I jump in today. I'm going through my normal stuff. And I'm like, hey, Bob Moneybags retweeted my tweet. Awesome. And then I go down here, whoa, Congress, Rep. Darren Soto from my fine state retweeted it. So that was pretty awesome. I was pretty happy to see that. I mean, I tagged him in there, and he's the only one that retweeted it, and it took him probably a couple days because I think he's busy with doing his job representing people, right? Hey, Phoenix, thank you for coming in. I had just mentioned you. I mentioned you a little bit back. I think you were the one that mentioned the VET earlier. I think I saw a tweet with you earlier. If you weren't, maybe I'm confusing it, but I thought you did mention that 500,000 if memory serves. But it was really cool. I like that. And what this is about is, and the reason we made it somewhat generic is because, look, we're not hawking projects here. Our case is for the entire cryptocurrency community at large, right? You can like certain projects or not like them, but I've always been a big purveyor of, look, a rising tide floats all boats. Can you imagine a stock market that had only let's say the equivalent of Bitcoin? Amazon. So I want to go trade stocks. What are you trading? Amazon, right? I mean, there has to be a marketplace. That's why you're gonna, in projects you think are silly, you think, well, maybe it's silly and they got low volume. It doesn't matter. Everybody has a different hot button and flavor. I mean, will it be enough for them to survive? I don't know. But what I know is that they possibly could take these coins. You might have something where, maybe it doesn't make it, but doesn't matter. There's enough different flavors out there, and that's what we need. We need to be, united as a community because we'll all benefit. And this right here benefits the entire community as a whole. Mac Daddy's saying that Bitcoin's about to take another dump. Ben Sedano's saying he'll be adding more tabs in the future. He posted a link on his Twitter. Guys, go follow at bcedino underscore tweet. You'll just look for Ben here. If you didn't see it earlier in the stream, we were talking about spreadsheets. He went ahead and shared a spreadsheet that has a bunch of numbers in. It's kind of cool. Put some work into it. I haven't had a chance to look at it. And I don't know if you want me to show it on screen, but it's pretty cool. Miyagi says I shouldn't have FOMO'd into the drop last night and waited for tonight if it dumps again. Well, you know what? I always feel like when I buy, I try to warn the community because as soon as I buy, then it's a dump, right? It's like you're checking out at the grocery store, right? You're picking up a couple food items late night. You want to run in and grab a couple items. So you're holding them. You're like, do I get the cart? Do I get it? No, you're holding them and you're thinking, there's one person in front of me. I mean, how long will it take? Meanwhile, you watch 4 people get checked through in the lane next to you. That's how I feel about XRP. I buy it. It's like it takes a nosedive. So you gotta warn community members there, Miyagi, when you're doing stuff like that. Give us a heads up so we know, man. It's gonna take a dump. Miyagi just went ahead and FOMO'd everywhere, and then ended up doing that. And hey, Phoenix Starborn, hey, hello. Thank you for jumping in. I appreciate it. Yeah, okay, yeah. I don't know if it's called VET, right on. Okay. Would have felt weird if I got that wrong, but yeah, man, I did see that tweet earlier. Let's see. Do you want to see the IMF said about banks? Pinned it to his Twitter. 589 Society. Yeah, go take a look at 589 Society. And what did they say? IMF said about banks. Oh, I think they were gonna. Did they say something about them being extinct? Did I get that right? Yeah. So Starborn Phoenix basically says, "I'd be buying if I had more money. Don't sweat over 1 or 2 C variation or a dip. You'll laugh yourself one day remembering when you were waiting for 30 cents instead of 32. I'm gonna laugh one day when I've been realizing I was tipping people 5, 10 XRP, and I like doing. Here's the thing. I love the tip bot, but for some reason, I feel like it's too complicated still. I know it's easy to put a space, do the wrong thing. I like the app personally myself. I like the app because I take the phone, I hit the button, I find the person, and I hit send. When I'm doing a tweet, I'm like, wait a minute, the plus, the thing, I reply to the tweet. It just seems complicated for me, and I don't know, maybe it's just me. And I'm a tech guy, which is kind of sad, but when I have the TipBot app and it's all ready to go, boom, done. You don't see it because you didn't see me tweet it out. You might not have known about it. I mean, you can see there's full transparency, but that's the way I personally like to do it. Electra Highway, hey peeps, XRP peeps, same here. Phoenix Starborn had to keep up with so many live streams from the other side of the world. Well, Electra, I want to thank you for keeping up with this one. Thank you for coming and showing up. Let's move right along here. So this is something that I wanted to just touch on. So I know that the digital asset investor did a stream on this earlier today. This is Sergeant Obi-Wan. And I kind of smiled and laughed a little bit at this. He kind of put out, hey, you want to see if somebody would take him up on, hitting up. We were just talking about Warren Davidson and DeSoto a little bit ago. Darren DeSoto out of Florida, Davidson's out of Ohio, and basically just says, I'm a constituent in your district. I live in Osceola County off of 192, which I've driven that because I've been up to Florida State where my daughter went to school. And it may be a good idea for you and or Warren Davidson to get the XRP tip bot wallet and try it out. This may help out Congress understand one aspect of digital assets, you and Mr. Davidson. Okay, cool, man. And I love the sentiment here, right? Really awesome sentiment. But I started thinking, my mind went to, uh-oh, I hope, and this is a great thing because if they really wanted to find out how it works, this would be the way to do it, right? You want to see how it's going to work, great. But then I started thinking, uh-oh, what if people start tipping Congress? Yikes. We don't want to tip Congress, right? Because that looks weird. But the sentiment behind this thing is phenomenal because the XRP tip bot is so awesome. And I love when digital asset investors said, hey, what if we start getting Congress involved, involved in that? So it was cool that Sergeant Obi-Wan jumped out there and kind of put this out there. And if you look down here, DAI also put, if you know Status, who does some awesome graphics and stuff, put a link out there just for more sort of some more background. But I started going to, oh man, I just hope no one from the community starts trying to tip them. But then I had a small brainstorm. I said, what if they do get a tip bot? What if they throw some XRP in there? And what if they put it to good use? Like, for example, this is the Good Souls group. Full disclosure, I am a member of the Good Souls group. And what kind of stuff do we do? Well, I'll tell you what we love to do. We love to give in a lot of different ways. We have some approved charities. You'll see them right here. But this is at Good XRP. At Good XRP is the handle. And what this does, it's got a splitter in it. So anytime you make a donation on a tip bot, this is what I started thinking. This is now something I think Congress could get into, right? The charity, more the giving part of this. And, like for example, these are the charities that it goes to right here that you can see. There's full transparency on all of these. Just run through a couple of them. Wandering Where has the tree project, right? Replanting trees. We have Big Bucket. So there's Cranders. There's this one here, Children on the Edge. This is a good one. And everyone knows this one right here. This is King Blue right here. What an amazing guy. I mean, he's the one behind this Good Souls group, but he's raised so much money for St. Jude. I've always believed in St. Jude. They're doing God's work. I mean, they're doing some amazing stuff, but all of these projects are really worthy. And what's nice about basically tipping this account is that they kind of just get distributed. And then here's the transparency 3 hours ago. Well, it might be longer because I looked this up. But anyway, basically today, we can see how, so if you want to go ahead and you're feeling, you want to set maybe like a couple XRP a month to that, you can set up a tip bot to do monthly sort of, set up to do monthly. If you want to do a monthly contribution of 5 or 4, if you're looking for something to give, because we're a giving community, this is a great place to look. And if you wanted to drill down individually and feel like maybe St. Jude hits, something with you, or Children on the Edge, that would be a nice one too. So I really wanted to point that out. And this is where I thought Congress could really do a good job and maybe start realizing that, this community is special, this XRP community. Not only are we awesome, we're pretty awesome, right? But we together as a community like to give, and I'll tell you how that materialized. I ran into some issues the other night trying to stream, and immediately a bunch of people reached out to me. Chip, do this. Hey, I'll help you out. Jeff from the Holder Report said, hey man, I'll take some time, and he spent 45 minutes before this stream making sure everything was worked out. And you know what? That's what this community is about. I mean, obviously Jeff's a special guy, but Rain reached out to me and said, Chip, I'm there if you need me to help you figure this out. Do this, do that. But he did tell me to buy a new computer, and he's right. I think my bottleneck is my computer. I upgraded my internet, but probably sitting here. Yeah, you know what? Mac Daddy's got this great idea. They need a Tipbot plugin for YouTube. They do need one for YouTube. What they do have, I don't know if you guys know about Coil. I have a Coil account. Now, basically what Coil is that anytime it's a plugin that you basically put in Chrome, you add it to Chrome, and what you do is you hook up your, once you create an account, I think it's $5 a month, right? So for $5 a month, let's say you had the Coil plugin, and you're watching. I have that on my stream because I wanted to test it out, and what it does micro donations. So you start seeing on the bottom of the stream, it starts running automatically. So when you're watching a stream, you're actually donating. It's doing micro donations, which is really cool. And with that said, I wanted to get into this, kind of like a perfect segue into that. Thank you, Mac Daddy. Mac Daddy is reading my mind tonight. He's like, I'm going to queue this next one up for you, Chip. I got this one. Let me just throw this up there. Yeah, LEG, an amazing community we have. It is a special community. Auburn Rain, yeah, PC baby. I'm a Mac guy to the core. I'm the Mac ecosystem. Funny story, dumb story maybe, but in way back in the 90s, I bought my first Mac for I was like, I was younger, I was gonna buy a car. I was like, no, I think I'll get a Macintosh. So I spent $7,200 for my first Mac. It was a Macintosh 2CX. And then I said, you know what, a laser printer is cool. And I spent $5 on a laser printer, and that was basically my car payment. So then I drove my old, crappy car for a while. Yeah, exactly, Coil. So this is kind of cool. This came out. I was actually talking to one of the devs on an IM. I actually wanted to try to pull them in, but they're just too busy coding. But here's something what's interesting. I want to show you this. These guys, the Puma browser, okay, these guys right here. Look at this is amazing. So if you ever know anything about the startup community, they were founded on January 2nd. They woke up after a hangover on the January 1st after celebrating like mad and crazy. They woke up on the 2nd and said, you know what? Let's go ahead and let's start a browser, right? Because so here's what's cool about our community. This Puma browser, I don't know if you've seen it, but basically they started this thing. They released their very first public beta, and now they also made it available for Android, and it's also available. See, don't you guys love when ads show up? I love it. They start flashing and doing stuff. That's most of the time why I cut it out. But this site wouldn't work because they have a window and a window here. But I was shocked when I saw this. So what's nice about this is you basically just go there, iPad, iPhone, Android, put your email in there, and you're gonna need something called Test Flight. It's an app you download from the App Store. What that'll allow you to do is as they do the beta builds, you go in there and they'll send you updates, and then you just basically it's a conduit. They send the update there, and then that way you're not downloading. It's not public, so that's why you're using something called Test Flight. But I wanted to take a second to basically put this up. Let me see, Puma browser. I should have said Siri to open the Puma browser, right? Let me see if Siri, hey Siri, open Puma browser. Okay, so here's what it looks like right here. Let me see, I'm trying to get the reflection out of there. So this is what it is. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to, let me just go to the XRP tip bot right here. Let's look at the XRP tip. Gosh, you guys get a lot of, let me see here. There we go. Getting a lot of. So if you can see this right here, you notice in the bottom corner there, it's built right in. So the two things that I love about this browser, you see how the coil is running? That's the same thing when you're running coil and the plugin. That's exactly what happens. So it's running, you see the micro donations happening. Hopefully that's viewable. I don't know, it might be a little blurry. But that's what's cool. So any website that's enabled that's running the coil has that coil in the header on the header tag. It's running this coil piece right here, and you can stop it or you can kind of see where you're at. And they're micro donations. You gotta spend some serious time to be able to spend that whole $5. I think they also have a $10 one, but this is the XRP tip bot. So I'm actually tipping. I'm gonna leave it on there for a little bit, but I'm actually sending them micro payments right now with Coil. These guys also, the other thing they're doing is protecting privacy. They're gonna roll out more than that, but more details on that. But I love where they're going, right? Some things that I value more than anything, privacy, right? You go on Google and, God bless Google, they're fantastic, but they track you everywhere. They track you in your car, they track you here. They're not going to be doing this. So I imagine because it's running Coil, there's going to be some other cool things in the future, but these guys got this build out in 3 months for Android and also for iOS, which I feel is really phenomenal. Bob Moneybags is in the house. Bob, I mentioned you a little bit earlier. I don't know if you were in the stream earlier, but I wanted to see. Let me look here. Let me see here. One of these. So Bob, I mentioned your name here because I was going into my retweets. I was talking about this video that we made, and then I went in here. And then I said, hey, man, I got pretty excited because I had a retweet on this tweet here from Bob Moneybags. And I'm like, whoa, look who else it is. It's Rep Darren Soto. So that was pretty cool. So I don't know if you were in here when I when I had mentioned that, but this Puma browser I'm pretty excited about. It's this team is pretty good. Like I said, there's Test Flight. You download this program on iOS called Test Flight, and they send you builds. Here's what's really weird. I downloaded it, I think, on Friday. Saturday, I think it was maybe Sunday or maybe Monday this week. They already had another build out. So that's what's going to happen as they start squashing bugs. They'll start delivering, more and more products. So go ahead and check that out. Let's head over to the comments right here. So Bob, how you doing tonight, my man? I got to give a lot of props to Bob Moneybags. I was doing these little videos. There was these 3 minute. That's how the XRP minute started, as a couple of minutes. I thought, let me do 3 minutes. I think I can do that. Well, it's awesome if you don't screw up 46 times and have to re-record them, because it's a one-shot deal. But Bob Moneybags, he reached out to me and he said, "Hey man, you want to do a live stream with me? I'd love to have you on." So man, that means a lot to me, Bob. And you had me on, and I had such a great time, chatting with you. So I have a lot of love there for my man Bob Moneybags. So Electra saying she's got some Monero and a bag of Verge. Allie G, Bob's going into labor soon. I don't know if you know about this, but Bob is probably one of the more special guys in the community. His first, he's raising money. We talked a bit about the charities before. Where are we? The Good Souls Group. So what Bob did last time was he got he has a fear of heights. So someone in the community, and I don't remember who it was originally. Who was the one that put him up to that, alley? If you could put it in the chat. But basically, someone put him up to it and said, "Hey, you know what? We'll get you up on an airplane, and we'll fly you around up there, and then we'll put it on a GoPro, right?" And Bob said, "Look, if we raise 1,000 XRP, I think for that particular time, he chose St. Jude's for his charity. Yeah, it was XRP Dutchy, XRP Dutchy." Yeah, and he was the one that put him up to it. And Bob, being the good sport he is, terrified, flew up over the lake, and I think he actually said he flew some of that. So that's pretty cool. I think he was flying the plane. Did I get that right, Bob? Were you flying that plane, or is that just something that I dreamt up while I was just saying it right now? I could, and he went from being like freaked out of his mind to flying an airplane, okay? And I don't know if you guys have ever been in a small plane. The first time I was in there, I was with a friend, even though my father, one of the things he told me when I was young, and we had a family friend who had an airplane, I said, "Hey Dad, how come we never go up in the airplane?" He's like, um, "I don't fly with friends." I'm like, okay. So I didn't think anything of it, but then all of a sudden, many years later, I'm in the plane and I had like almost like a panic attack, like, oh my God, I'm flying on a plane with my friend. My father told me to never do that. So I was like flying, but here's what's weird. I don't know what kind of small car you can be in, but you literally can reach over and you can touch the other side of the plane, right? I mean, it's cool because you're up here, got the headset on with the little, you're talking through, it's hard to hear everything, but man, you're flying in like a little tiny, I don't even know what you'd call it. It seems like a little, like a clown car, right? If a clown car had wings, that's what you'd be flying in. You know what I mean? Like those little kids ride around those little convertibles, and you've seen all those things on the internet when they're doing wheelies and stuff. That's basically what this is. It's enclosed with wings, and that's what you're flying in one of these. So Bob did that. He raised some money, and his next one, his next one is I don't know if you guys have ever seen this, but if they've had the sympathy things for men, because we don't have a clue. There's a reason women have babies, because men are the biggest crybabies. We get a hangnail, we're freaking out, we get a stomach ache, we're on the couch for 4 hours, and women, they power through it. They used to have a baby, they go out in the fields and they continue working. Like, yeah, no big deal, right? I lost 20 minutes. So, but men, there's a reason. So anyway, there's a sympathy thing where it's an electronic thing that you can put on. And what it does is simulates labor pains. Now, I watched the video on this, and it was painful for me to watch the video. So, yeah, when I was watching the video, I was like, okay, man, there's no way he's doing this. But you are doing this, yes, Bob? I mean, you are. Am I right in saying that you're going to do this simulation thing, this simulation vest? Are you doing this thing, man? Because that's crazy. But anyway, he's doing it for a great cause, which I think is amazing. Here's something else I found that I looked at. I don't really even know what this is. I was clicking around right before the live stream, but I thought, well, it's kind of cool. It's what you call notable, so I wanted to mention it to you. So look at this. Meet the Note, a digital token by Republic. I don't know. You guys know who Republic is? I don't know. Is it like the Banana Republic? What kind of republic? Is Republic the name? Is it One Republic, the band? I don't know what that means. But Chris invited me. That's pretty special. I don't know what that means, but you receive one bonus for being invited after you sign up. Claim 10 notes, 6 days to earn, blah, blah, blah. So I don't even know what this is, but it looked interesting, and I said, let me go into it blind. Since 2016, 100,000 people, first-time backers, putting just $10 to seasoned VCs, deploying as much as $75,000, funded a wealth of growing cutting-edge startups on Republic. Okay, so it's a platform for funding. First platform to make startup investing. So it's kind of like one of these REITs, these real estate investment things, instruments where you can basically for a minimum of $500 you can get in on real estate deals. They usually show you like an average return anywhere from 9 to 12, 13%. But this looks like something's okay. Now it's coming back to me. Republic, yeah, okay, I remember it. So that's what these guys did. So what did they do? What did they do? Invest in tomorrow, get rewarded today. So basically what you're doing, they have a mission to help entrepreneurs build the future. Besides investing, you'll earn notes for referring your friends. I'm referring everybody tonight. Anyway, maybe I'll tweet this out later. I don't know if it's worth it, but anyway, when it's free, we're talking about the $10 in XLM that I couldn't get one person to get. I'm not even my father would take it after he found out about it. He was, hey, I'm gonna go in there and do it. So I was like, all right, at least somebody will do it. So you claim the notes, and so it's cool. You get the fun startups. So basically, how the VC game works is, 90% of the startups fail, but you only need that 10% to go ahead and go somewhere, and you sort of hedge your bet on which ones you think are going to go. And yeah, so I guess so they have a portfolio of 80 companies, and let me go ahead and hit claim notes. I don't know what it's going to do. Let's just claim them. Oh wow, painful. Look at this. Look at this pain. Authorize the app. Yeah, okay, good. I'm already logged in. That's a good thing. And redirect me back to the application. This may take a few moments. Oh, why? Why are you doing this? Anyway, I don't think you want to see me sign up for this right now. But what I will do is I will sign up for this and see what it's all about. But anyway, I have somewhat talked about a startup that I ran, had 4 other people. It's a hard road, guys. It's a hard road. Got rejected by 65 plus venture capitalists. Almost got acquired by a very big player in the space after 3 months, and then deciding not to go. So it's a big space out there, and so when you're sitting there funding something yourself and you're trying to get a product out there, look, I have a lot of love for startup people because a lot of times they're sleeping on couches, they're doing whatever they can, they're working 24 hours to try to get their thing to go. So I have a lot of love. So how long are we streaming here? Yeah, it looks like we went over a little bit over an hour, but that's okay. Hey, we're having fun. We're the crypto, community, but more specifically, we are the XR people giving trees, right? We like to give to people here. So XRP notice security, all right, not blocked. I'm not sure what that reference is. Maybe something else. Legislation cannot get here soon enough. BZ Comedy Channel, yeah, spot on about that. Electro Highway, you should just hire someone to punch you in the gut whenever your wife cries out in pain. Yeah, that's one way to do it, but this thing is like, I think it's electrical, so I think it sends shocks. But I saw the guy was on his wife was administering it to him, and she looked like she was having way too much fun. The guy's freaking out, and he's so this is going to be epic. And Bob, if you're still in here, man, I think what we need to do is we need to have you basically. We need like different angles, and if you get me the raw video, I'll cut it together for you. We need like an overhead view, and maybe if you get, and I can send you a GoPro too if you need an extra GoPro. But we do a couple GoPros, we'll intercut it, put some cool funky music, and we will make this thing go viral and see what we can raise across the board. But that's just an idea. Oh, you don't have to, man. Or maybe you don't want to share that with everybody you know and everybody you don't know. But you never know, man. It might be a way to do that. Is there a video that you did for the taxonomy bill? Well, geez, Auburn Rain, that's a funny thing you should ask. Yes, yes, there is. It's right here. If you go to at Stephen Chip with a PH, you look up just Chip XRP Minute, you'll find it. But I think I have it pinned up there. This is the video right here that the community came together and did. And take a look at it, tweet it out. This is the one I talked about before, the DeSoto, or Soto, honestly, DeSoto, Darren Soto had tossed out there, Warren Davidson. But yeah, that's the one. Yeah, of course Bob's gonna film it. Man, how do we know he did it? Yeah, he filmed it. He filmed the last one when he went up in the plane. What else? Yeah, it'll be on YouTube. Yeah, for sure. Challenge was set because he pranked an XRP. I don't. Yeah, Allie, I don't remember what that was. And I caught elements of that, but I don't know. And I remember him talking about the prank, but I'm not sure what the prank is. But look, when I get my things worked out, my technical difficulties, it looks like with the bottlenecks to my computer, I want to have Bob Moneybags on, and we'll have a good time. And I think for that, I'll be a special stream. You know, with Jungle, I drank whiskey. I think since Bobby Moneybags is a beer guy, I think I'll indulge in some beer, and then Bob can pick it. I'm cool with that. But maybe we'll do a beer stream. If you've looked at his, I love his avatar there. It's a little kind of a joke thing there, but if you make it larger and look at it, he's tossing back a beer. So I'd love to have you on, Bob, and we'll have some fun. But you know what happened the other night to Sam I Am when I had him on? He was generous enough to come on, and we were basically doing an 8-bit video stream with it was pretty bad and embarrassing, right? So pretty silly if I had to say. So yeah, there's the video, Rain. I would show it on here, but you know what would probably happen? The sound wouldn't come through. It'd be 4 minutes into it and you guys wouldn't see it. I wonder if I can play it in here. I don't know that the sound's gonna come through though. That's what I'm somewhat worried about. I don't know if that would happen. So anyway, what I'll do is maybe on a future one I will do that. I just don't think I've got my on a Mac. It's complicated, man. You got to set up an extra plug-in, and who knows, it probably won't work. But anyway, guys, any assistance you can. You don't have to tweet this video. But what I'd love you to do is tweet out something. Hey, we're behind you. Find out who your normal. So it has to be passed in the House of Representatives first. Go on Google and say, hey, who is my congressman or woman, and then find out who it is and basically tweet them. And I know we have a spreadsheet floating around out there, which probably wouldn't be a bad idea to get out there too, that has everybody in Congress their Twitter handle, so you can actually hit a couple. But let's get behind this, guys. There's so much value here that we can hit up here. So anyway, so I'm going to run through some of the comments, guys. I'm going to wrap it up. I want to thank each and every one of you for showing up. You had a lot of things you could have been doing tonight, like maybe, I don't know, cleaning the kitchen, loading the dishwasher up. I don't know, dealing with first world problems, you know what I mean? Like it's too hot, it's too cold. I don't know what it might be, but there's a lot of things you could have done. You chose to be here, hanging out with all of us, having a bit of fun. So I want to thank you guys for coming. I'll run down the list a little bit. Some of the folks that showed up here tonight. And let's see, so Bob Moneybags, Ali G, thank you for being here. Rain, of course, as always, Electra Highway, 179 Kevin. Who else do we have in here? We had Spanish Fly, I'm not sure if she's in there. Bodismo was here. Matt Daddy was had some good contribution here. Mama Lacey was in. Phoenix Starborn, I think he had a book, but he popped in for a little bit, or he may be listening in the background. E-Man, and E-Man, by the way, sorry, E-Man, I didn't see your statement here, but he says Congress makes enough, Congress should tip us. Oh, that made me laugh. Thank you. I really needed that. Sorry to miss that before. Ben Sedano sitting here, 589 Society. Who else is in here? Biz Comedy Channel. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. BZ Comedy Channel. And if I missed you guys, Meowgi. Yeah, Gaming Crypto is in here. We had a good show tonight, guys. Thank you for coming. I didn't hit as much tech as we usually do, but also think about tipping the charities. Again, you can set up the tip bot if you want, because maybe you're like, hey, I'm down with maybe setting tip bot up to do 5 XRP or 3 XRP a month, something just to kind of say, hey, maybe I can help some of these charities out. Not a bad idea. You can get in there and there's a bunch of them. Pick the one you like or that resonates, and you can donate directly through the tip bot through a recurring sort of a monthly, or you can just, this is what I love about the Good XRP. At Good XRP, you can simply go ahead and do the tip there, and then you can see that they all get split, and you'll see a lot of transparency. Any questions you ever have about these charity, it's an open book. King Blue is our fearless leader, and he has led with incredible integrity. So he's an open book. Everything we do in this group is open. So I just wanted to end on that, guys. Go check out. I was doing a short recap here. Go check out this Puma browser. It's at pumabrowser.com, which is good because it could be at Puma BWR/5/9/64. You know what I mean when they do that? Just Puma browser, but check it out. You're probably not going to find a lot of value in it because it's a public beta, but the fact that they have coil built into it, guys, this is mobile, right? So one of the things I thought about is when I'm on mobile, there's no plugin. Yeah, I mean, how much time do you guys actually spend on desktop? I watch all you guys, you YouTubers out there on my phone. I'm sitting there. I don't even know where I put it. I'm sitting in the dark here, but I'm sitting there, looking at it on my phone, holding it. Meanwhile, I could be watching it on TV because, as Jeff from Hodl Report did, he went and put it up there. So yeah, it's not doing it, but the fact that it's using Coil and XRP, guys, we got ourselves a browser. Exciting, and it's privacy based. Holy cow! Which is the bigger win here? 179 Kevin, good night, Mama Lacey. I enjoyed it. Thank you. I enjoyed you guys coming. Electro Highway, Miyagi, Bodismo. I'm gonna go ahead and we're going to wrap this up. Again, I stream on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10. I'm right after Digital Nomad Investor. He streams Monday through Friday at 9 Eastern Time. I always tweet out a table so you guys can see whatever part of the world you're in. I tweet out the times going from here all the way to Australia and in between, or at least most places, like 12, 13 places. So I wanted to say thank you, Bodismo. Thank you very much. Thank you. Please like and subscribe. I really appreciate you guys showing up today. We're going to build this together. We're going to have some fun. Tuesdays and Thursday nights at 10, and sometimes it'll go a little bit later because I don't really want to step on Digital Nomad Investor, who I really love, and I love his take on the geopolitical scene. I don't want to step on his toes, so I let him finish up. So some nights we may start a little bit later, but just know that you'll get an alert if you click that bell. YouTube rocks on Front Room TV. Yeah, if you're saying I'm on there, man, wow, honored. Let's do this right now. Let me go full screen here. Boom, boom. And so let me conclude here. So what I want you to do, check out too, is the Hodl Report. Look for him on YouTube if you're not following him. This is Jeff. He was also in the video. I thought he did an amazing job. He just knocked it out of the park. And he does streams. I know he does a stream the day that I don't, which is Wednesday night at 10. And then he goes ahead and he does another stream on Saturday mornings at 8, which, funny enough, I end up watching that stream a lot. And I'm always surprised that I'm up at 8 o'clock on Saturday morning. I'm like, what am I doing up at 8 o'clock on Saturday morning for? I try to sleep in. It doesn't happen. During the week, I like a couple extra Z's, but that doesn't happen. Anyway, thank you from the bottom of my heart for showing up tonight. Thank you for being part of this community. Thank you for everything you do, for giving. And I wish you a good night. And if you're on the other side of the world, I wish you a good day. That's my take. What's yours? Chip? Ow!